Namaste. Welcome everyone to one of its kind first edition of the Nahar Jito Bookathon presented in association with the Raisoni Foundation. We are thrilled to have you here for this special event that celebrates the joy of reading and the power of storytelling. We have listeners and audiences pouring in from all across the country, and it's one of the most vibrant, one of a kind event. Well, in ancient India, storytellers would gather around the fire and share tales that not only entertained but also imparted wisdom. Today, we continue the tradition through this bookathon, albeit in a modern setting, to learn and grow together. Today, we have the pleasure of diving into One String Attached, a poignant novel by Pankaj Dubey. This book takes us on a journey through love, loss, and resilience, set against the backdrop of Ayodhya, Delhi, and Dubai. Now, let me take a moment to introduce our esteemed speaker, Pankaj Dubey. Pankaj is a bilingual novelist and filmmaker known for his works Water Lover, Ishki Apa to Hell with Love, Love Curry, and Trending in Love. He brings socio-political undercurrents to life with quirk and humor. He's been a journalist with BBC World Service and has received accolades like the Writers' Residency in Seoul Art Space and the Global InnoVenture Award at the House of Lords, United Kingdom. He has curated and programmed more than 50 film festivals across India. He was also awarded with the Youth Icon Award for Social Entrepreneurship in Gulbarga, Karnataka in 2010 for initiating India's first street film festival for children in slums and villages, the Sadak Thap Film Festival. So it's the deepest and highest honor for me to have this conversation with you today because I myself am a social entrepreneur and this is definitely a moment that I will always cherish. So let's begin by exploring the themes and inspirations, behind the book. So what is it that inspired you to write One String Attached? And what key message do you hope that readers like myself take away from Shivam and Aina's story? How do you think that cultural and religious backdrop of Ayodhya adds to the learning experience of the readers?
First of all, thank you very much for having me over, and thank you for such a generous introduction. You've done quite a lot of work yourself, and congratulations for that. As far as picking up this theme of this story, One String Attached, is concerned, so the legacy of this idea goes back to the days of my span of life as a student when I was studying history in the University of Delhi during my undergraduate level. There was a stream of history, there was a style of school of thought in history, which was known as subaltern. Subaltern means history from below. To understand it better, when you think of different historical events, you read about it, you research about the historical events, generally you talk about the big political, cultural, and historical figures of those times and big events. But subaltern history talks about history from below. There were many people, there would have been many people in the fringes, below poverty line, from the marginalized
Right.
parts of society. What happens to those people? Because say it was Quit India movement, you talk about Mahatma Gandhi and other big leaders. You don't talk about who were the leaders, who were the not just the leaders, but the tailors around, the milkman who would come to give you milk,
Correct.
the have-nots. They also had their lives and communities. So, looking at history from that point of view, from history from below, from not, if you look at a prism, not from just the top of it, but from the
Right.
bottom. So
Wow.
similarly, that perspective was adapted here when I thought of writing a historical fiction romance. I thought of writing this book. I thought of these two events of contemporary times. set in 1992 demolition of mosques in Ayodhya, and 2010 the preparation of Commonwealth Games in New Delhi. And then I thought these have been big events, quite big events of international importance. What was happening to someone who was a tailor at that point of time? Someone who was son of the Mahant of the temple, who chose to be a tailor because he was in love with a girl from a different faith. And he thought, this girl who is Muslim by community, she would hide her pretty face with the help of a burqa, and she would reveal her face just in front of the tailor. So why not opt for being a tailor in his professional life, to be able to see the girl of her dreams from quite from close quarters? So I tried to experiment romance from below, taking a cue from the subaltern history that I had studied once upon a time, and it worked quite well. And there have been stories where you get into big events and moments of the past, and then you create characters and you create plots, and then you push those big events at the background, and you do what you have to do with the help of the characters. So that was the idea, to experiment. Having done a couple of more novels before, I thought of experimenting this, and it worked in a phenomenal way. And even the Hindustani version, Ishq Baki, is doing quite well. Yeah.
I think that's very inspiring, sir, because personally we come from a land that is very rich of culture and tradition, and we have a very sentimental value attached to such events. The kind, the magnanimous events that you just spoken, that actually are history for generations to come. So it's kind of fascinating how, Shivam and Aina's story is symbolic of Radha Krishna's story, कि जहाँ पे सोसाइटल चैलेंजेस के बावजूद भी एक लव और एक डिवोशन है कि जो सारे
बिल्कुल
बैरियर्स को ट्रांसेंड करता है कहीं ना कहीं.
बिल्कुल.
And it gives us a value of hope, and it gives us a value of perseverance,
Hmm.
especially for our Gen Z audience who are trying to, have keep hold on those historical references, and it gives a voice, like you mentioned, कि एक आवाज मिलती है उन लोगों को कि जिनकी कहानियां कहीं खो गई हैं. So I'm
बिल्कुल.
actually very grateful to you that you have taken the responsibility to narrate those incidents as well. And moving on to the writing process of this novel, because as a voracious reader myself, I'm always very curious to know what goes behind the brain of an author when they are writing a book, and what are the challenges that you face, and if there are any interesting anecdotes that you'd like to share with our listeners who have joined us from all across the country.
Basically, as far as my writing process is concerned, I am quite character driven. I'm driven by characters. So I first, get inspired by characters of real life situations. If I find someone very entertaining or inspiring, because these are the two attributes I look for in people to get hooked to me. Number one is inspiration level, and number two is entertainment quotient. Both the elements should be there. And if some character or some attributes of a character fascinates me or intrigue me, I try to stay with that for some time, and say after a week or two, if that's still fascinating, it's not dying down, I try to create a plot around that. And in my stories, geography is also a character. So be it Ayodhya or Delhi or Dubai, these are all characters, because all these places, geographical locations, they come with a lot of attributes. They come with a lot of flavor, a lot of aroma, a lot of enthusiasm, and a different kind of energies. All these attributes help shape your characters and give a pace to the heartbeats of my characters, because all this are to be woven properly so that
Right.
your readers get intrigued and start living the life, cherishing the life they have been living in the story, in the life of the story. So as far as my writing process is concerned, initially I go by the characters, and then I make primary characters and then secondary characters. And of course, I don't fix everything beforehand. Many characters come up even while writing those stuff, because then you think of a character from somewhere in your life or your ecosystem, and you try to plant them also in this ecosystem you have created, if they are adding some substantial portion to this. They're adding to
Right.
the magic of the story you want to tell. So this is my modus operandi.
Wow. So that definitely sounds both challenging as well as rewarding, because rewarding as in it seems like they always heard, right, that the pen is mightier than the sword, that the pen holds so much of power. और जो सूत्रधार होता है उसके हाथ में होता है कि कैसे कहानी मोड़ लेती है हमारे डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स के लिए। तो मुझे ये प्रश्न था कि आप कैसे कैरेक्टर्स की इमोशनल डेप्थ को एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, एट द सेम टाइम एक रिलेटेबिलिटी भी रहनी चाहिए और प्लॉट भी एंगेजिंग रहना चाहिए। सो ये चीज कैसे आप बैलेंस करते हैं थ्रू आउट द नॉवल? इज देयर सम रिसर्च दैट यू गो थ्रू? इज देयर समथिंग दैट listeners should keep in mind if they are planning to write a book or something of that sort?
दरअसल इसके लिए मैंने जो मैकेनिज्म बनाया है वो ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स है नहीं, सिर्फ 4
Okay.
शब्दों का फलसफा है मेरा। आई हैव अ
Okay.
फिलॉसफी ऑफ 4 वर्ड्स, और वो 4 शब्द हैं, बस मजा आना चाहिए।
वाह वाह।
अगर when you write something and when you read it by yourself और मजा नहीं आ रहा है, that means if it's not working for you, it won't work for anyone else. So आपको खुद को खुद से डिटैच्ड होकर क्रिटिकली देखना होगा। ये नहीं सोचना होगा कि आपने जो लिख दिया वो ब्रह्म वाक्य है और उसके ऊपर कुछ हो नहीं सकता है। So you have to be critically, you have to be your own critic. तो बस मजा आना चाहिए प्रिज्म हर पैराग्राफ, लेसन, चैप्टर के पास आप लगाते रहें, रीड करने में भी लगाते रहें, तो अपने आप उस प्रोसेस में ही आपको मजा आने लगेगा।
वाओ,
और
that's
अगर
like
या और क्योंकि वो अब अगर आपकी जिंदगी की संवेदनाओं से, मानवीय संवेदनाओं से मेल नहीं खाती हुई चीजें, उनमें बहुत आर्टिफिशियलिटी है अगर, तो वैसे भी मजा नहीं आएगा। तो बिकॉज आई बिलीव इन एंड आई चेरिश ह्यूमन स्टोरीज, तो उसमें तो संवेदनाएं चाहिए ही, उसमें तो सेंसिटिव स्टोरीज विथ ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, इमोशंस, जो इमोशंस इमोट करें, तभी कुछ घटित
correct.
होगा, तभी दिल बदलेगा, दिल धड़केगा।
वाओ। सो आप ऐसे सूत्रधार हैं कि जो एग्जैक्टली जैसा हो रहा है वैसे डेपिक्ट करने की मतलब आपका ये प्रयास रहता है जिसमें मजा आए। That is
इसमें मजा है,
reality.
क्योंकि हर बार रियलिज्म इंटरेस्टिंग हो ये जरूरी नहीं।
जरूरी नहीं। करेक्ट करेक्ट।
कई बार एकदम रियलिस्ट बात महा बोरिंग हो सकती,
या
तो
एब्सोल्युटली।
आपको लोगों को बोर भी नहीं करना है, पकाना भी नहीं है,
राइट।
वो उबे नहीं, तो उसमें दिलचस्पी और प्रेरणा, एंटरटेनमेंट एंड इंस्पिरेशन इस तरीके से हो कि बस मजा आता रहे।
I think that is the best combination that knowledge and storytelling can provide us in the 21st century. And I'm very grateful that literary events में अगर हम historically देखेंगे तो probably this bookathon is actually enabling us to connect to so many readers in a way that
Yeah.
we are delving deep into the mind of the author. So I'm very
Yeah,
grateful
and
to this platform.
also it ignites the imagination of the reader,
Yeah,
because
yes,
everyone has a point of view about Ayodhya, about Delhi, about Dubai, about the temple, about the mosque. People have their
correct.
opinion on the basis of data they have consumed. Now
Absolutely.
here comes a novel which is set in that backdrop. So it will ignite their imagination in order to delve deep into the world and be friends with the characters and enjoy their journey with them.
Wow, that's truly commendable. And I've seen that, like, talking about the characters and the narrative itself, which brings us to the next question. That is Shivam, who is one of the protagonists. उसकी journey काफी transformative है. So जब आप उसका character लिख रहे थे, आप उसको create कर रहे थे, तो ऐसे कौन से skills and qualities आपने देखे कि शिवम ने develop किए through his experiences, and how can these be applied by readers in their own lives?
Actually, I have not created Shivam. There's so many Shivams around us. If you come out of your cushion space, if you go out of the well protected zone of your life, your
Right,
parents must have created or you must have created for yourself.
right,
उसके बाहर जाकर जब आप marginalized society में देखेंगे, society has majority of Shivams and majority of Aina. They are not getting their due importance and places in the work of literature, art, and other forms of entertainment and academia.
right,
So we just have to open up and we have to just look around, and we should also, I always suggest this to my friends and some students wherever I go for workshops, that you may come from a very privileged space, but if you
right,
really want to know India, if you really want to see the, vox pop, the voice of the people, travel by train
yeah,
in a sleeper class
yes,
and see the whole of India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from northeast to all the parts. And then the kind of characters, life, and all of that, the kind of things you'll experience, it will make you a better person, a stronger person, a richer person in terms of experiences and stories. And it will give you a fresh and quite a resilient outlook of the life. So it's very important to, travel and see the country, the society, the world. And we are fortunate to be Indians that we have quite a
yes,
lot of variety. We have a wide range. We have Cherrapunji, we have Northeast, we have South, we have hills, we have snowfalls, we have sea beaches, we have dry areas. So we have quite a wide range. You can enjoy everything over here. So, well, if you travel, you'll see many Shivams, find many Ainas and many Bablus and many good characters you can learn from. So, I did not give characters or traits to my characters, my
right,
characters of the story. I gained a lot from them. My job was just to assemble them from
correct.
my observations and my literary skills. And while doing that, I became a better person. It
Wow,
helped me transform
makes
because you
sense. It
start living
sounds
with that.
therapeutic. It definitely sounds therapeutic.
Yeah. Because, you start getting complacent when you start thinking that you have created this.
Ah,
That you, in a way, you become a Brahma, you are a creator. But it's not the fact. You are just accumulating them, what is already there in the society, in the ecosystem around you.
right.
We are just aggregating,
Correct,
and
correct,
we are calculative enough to give some amount of emotion, some amount of resilience, some amount of
correct.
hatred, and a lot of love in that, so that love helps it move. It gives hope. It gives us the idea that there can be a dark tunnel, but at the end of it there is light for sure.
Absolutely. I think this is very relatable to me as well. Somebody who has lived her life in in a tier one city, but then had her experiences in masters in a completely rural setup, traveling in across states,
Oh
and
yes, you must have met
being
so many characters and you must have
absolutely.
seen so many situations.
And there's so much of joy. See that there are very simple things that these people crave, and they fight so much to just get to those simple things at the end of the day. And um, I used to spend some time with people living in the slums, people living in the villages, used to wake up with them and go to the village. सुबह 4 बजे उठ के वो लोग अपने गायों और भैंसों को मतलब उनका ध्यान रखते हैं। तब से उनका दिन शुरू हो जाता है, मतलब भगवत गीता के बड़े से छोटे से टीवी में बड़े से वॉल्यूम के साथ शुरू होता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं आई ऑलवेज वांटेड कि हाँ, कहीं ऐसा एक नैरेटिव होना चाहिए कि जहाँ पे इनकी आवाजें भी एक लाइट ऑफ द डे देखेंगे, बिकॉज these are the people who are making at the heart of our country. And Shivam's journey kind of reminds me of Paul Chilo's Alchemist में जो कैरेक्टर रहता है Santiago, जो एक shepherd boy रहता है, and he learns about these values of resilience and courage and kind of like self-discovery through his different adventures. So even
Absolutely.
Shivan's story is like a path to our dreams is one which is a lot full of challenges, but you can only go through what you grow through. So that's what I personally took away, and that brought me to the theme of love and resilience जो आपने खूब सारा भर भर के आपने उसमें you have tried to emulate those qualities. So what do you think that these themes can help readers in personal and professional lives?
Yeah, I think love is a wonderful social tool which can be deployed to solve everything. Because when you are in love or when you look at things lovingly, you first thing is you do not give any space or room to hatred, bitterness, unnecessary loser competition. You try to be the best version of yourself. You try to talk in the best possible language using the most effective words. You try
Right.
to impress the other person or the issue you are going to tackle. So if you are lovified, you are a better person. So using love to sort things and looking at world lovingly is it can be a great deployment in society in order to make things better.
Correct.
So yeah, and it gives a lot of hope.
Hope.
It gives a lot of bonding. It binds people and it makes you more inclusive. You go beyond the caste divide, the community divide, the class divide, and you look at people as human who respond, who have emotions. You develop a lot of empathy in yourself, and you start looking at things from their perspective also, and then you become mature enough to understand that it's not the only way you are looking at things from. So there can be other ways. तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है प्रेम एक सामाजिक टूल है जिससे बहुत सारी समस्याओं को सुलझाया जा सकता है और जो नहीं सुलझती हैं उनको उनकी डिग्री को कम किया जा सकता है, उनके फ्लेम को सिम में किया जा सकता है।
Right. Wow. That's very apt. Actually, मेरी one of the favorite novels है Man's Search for Meaning, जो विक्टर फ्रैंकलिन ने लिखी है। एंड अगर मतलब हम हमारे कैरेक्टर्स को वो स्टोरी के साथ अगर कंपेयर करें तो इवन इफ यू लुक एट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टोरीज, then you have हीर रांझा, you have राम सीता, you have रोमियो जूलियट, की जो हमेशा सेपरेट होते हैं, and then there is this hope and there is this love that actually is the only light in the dark, like you mentioned, which brings them back together. It's some supreme force of nature that actually helps us to vibrate high and be in sync with our loved one. So it's actually giving me goosebumps to just talk about it. And it's not just romanticizing love, but it's actually celebrating the divinity, that love offers as a strength in itself. So which brings me to my next question, sir, that you beautifully narrated and explained your idea behind putting those values. But then मेरा दिमाग में ये क्वेश्चन रहता है कमिंग फ्रॉम द जेन ज़ी ऑडियंस कि इंटरफेथ लव को जिस तरीके से आपने सेलिब्रेट किया है एंड एक सोशियो पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो में इन आवर कंट्री, डेफिनेटली आवर कंट्री इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स an era जहाँ पे we are now finally able to question love in its essence and not put on it a lot of other filters. But at the end of the day हम हमेशा अपने सोसाइटी के साथ कनेक्टेड रहते हैं। तो इस बारे में आपका क्या आइडिया है कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इनसाइट्स डू यू वांट टू शेयर विद आवर रीडर्स about interpolitical faith and, such kind.
So, yeah, there are two things. One is tradition, another thing is aberration. When traditions become obsolete, those are those values are aberrations. So our values keep on changing with every passing moment. Hour,
Right.
week, days, weeks, months, years, and decades. Now, talking about Gen Zs, and before that, millennials, after that, alpha, as they say it,
Right.
value Gen Zs, this is the only bracket born with smartphones and internet. So the amount of the quantum of information they have access to is beyond comprehension. They
Correct.
have a lot of information from everywhere in the world without an idea on what to do with this information. What is to be followed, what is not to be followed, what is to be liked, cherished, what is to be rejected. And it confuses them if the value system is not in place. Now, we all live in society with certain values, but we have to understand that values are to be defined and redefined with passing time. Also, society is just one word, but society is quite a complex concept in itself.
Right.
The evolution of thoughts helps us in making calls which are more relevant to your present context. There are things, people are there, they have been listening to the value system of the past, but like every new software, even social values need to keep upgrading itself. And if you find aberrations, you move on. So I'm sure with changing progressiveness of society, a lot of aberrations will vanish and love will help. Caste, for example, caste system is a unique feature in Indian society which you won't find anywhere in the whole world.
Correct.
Now, if there are caste conflicts, the most powerful solution to eradicate caste system is love marriages, intercaste marriages, interfaith marriages. There can be a lot of ho halla and halla ho around all this, but then things settle, and wherever both the parties are open and inclusive, things
Acceptance
settle.
is there.
Yeah,
Right.
and then a new caste appears out of these two people
Correct.
representing two different castes.
Correct.
So, values change with time, and Gen Z has taken it up quite with big courage. And yeah, and at the end of the day, all the generations, they look for happiness in the lives of their kids. If
True.
you are financially dependent, if you are emotionally independent, if you are financially independent, emotionally independent, you
Right.
can take calls, and a lot of things can happen which will help the society to grow further.
Correct.
So, and you should always keep this in mind. We all should keep this in mind, that an individual is free in the society, but not free from the society. So when I say using love as a tool, you don't have to be free from the society and do it. You have to be there, and if your conviction is very strong, you can make others also convince about your
Correct.
point of view. So yeah, there are complications. These are challenges of the script, but if you want to write an interesting one, you have to take up the challenges as well. Otherwise, it will all be vanilla and not tasty at all.
Correct. Correct. I think these are very, very practical, takeaways or learnings, I would say, which was actually the last question which you've already answered, कि क्या practicalities हैं जो हम adopt कर सकते हैं in our daily routine in daily lives, which is by probably just being a little more alive. I think kahin na kahin,
Yeah.
these narratives, these fictional stories, which are actually inspired from real life, are
Hmm.
keeping us alive.
Yeah, और दो values हमेशा होनी चाहिए. If one has to be a good storyteller and a good citizen in the society. पहली बात ऑनेस्टी, ईमानदारी, और दूसरी बात फियरलेसनेस, निर्भीकता. आप
Right.
फियरलेसली, ईमानदारी से अगर अपने थॉट्स को लिख सकते हो, या अगर आप फिल्म मेकर हो, फिल्म के फॉर्म में बना सकते हो, अगर आप पेंटर हो, पेंटिंग के फॉर्म में डिस्प्ले कर सकते हो, यू कैन मेक अ मार्क. बिकॉज आप 4 लोगों की खुशामद करने के लिए मत लिखिए
Correct.
कि
Correct.
ओ यू आर लुकिंग ऑसम. अगर कोई अच्छा नहीं लग रहा फिर भी आप बोल सकते हो यू कुड डू बेटर.
Right. Right.
और
Right.
अगला अगर ओपन है तो आपसे पूछ लेगा व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम, एंड देन यू कैन सजेस्ट कि आई लुक एट इट दिस वे. तो आपको फियरलेस होना होगा उसके लिए. सबको खुश रखने में आप अपने और उनके दोनों के साथ अन्याय करते हो. तो इसलिए ईमानदार रहना होगा और फियरलेस रहना होगा. तभी वो ईमानदार कहानी, वो ईमानदार सेंटेंस, वो ईमानदार थॉट को आप पेन डाउन कर सकते हो. नहीं तो
Wow.
फिर तो एड्स तो सभी लिख रहे हैं, वाव वाव तो लिख ही रहे हैं. तो दिस वोंट गिव यू एन ऑ विद 9 W's. And
Correct.
if it comes, that won't be genuine. So if
True.
you have to make a mark in the global circuit, you have to be rooted, honest, and fearless.
So, sir, is brutal honesty is there some price that you pay of being so vulnerable and, being fearlessly vulnerable such that your thoughts are laid bare in front of the world to see? And it's honestly not as, it's a difficult thing to process. And what does that make you feel? Just laying bare
Actually,
your thoughts.
what my experience has been so far, the society and the world is not as bad as we think it to be.
Mm.
I reach out to many people and I find most of the people very good. They are very cooperative. I reach out to even strangers with my ideas and they lap it up. So, we should not unnecessarily doubt, be suspicious, because we are not doubting others, but we are doubting ourselves. We have to have the conviction to bring it up in the best possible manner. And if there is honesty and doability in your work and project, it comes from your pretty eyes and it is accepted.
Right. That's truly this has not just been a discussion about a book. I feel that it has been a workshop and a session into understanding the Indian narrative from a very very magnified perspective. कि हम कितने डाइवर्स हैं, कितने कल्चरल हैं, और हमारे अंदर कितनी शक्ति है कि हम जब अपने अंदर झांकेंगे तो we can actually bring
Yeah,
out the essence of love and
हम
resilience.
बिल्कुल हम सब अपने आप में एक एक यूनिवर्स हैं. बट वी हम लोग खुद के ही सबसे बड़े दुश्मन भी हैं, क्योंकि हम खुद को डाउट करते हैं.
Right.
खुद से थोड़ा प्यार किया जाए अगर, और खुद को असाइनमेंट्स दिए जाएं और काम किए जाएं, एवरीथिंग इज डूएबल. या
Wow,
हमारे
that's
देश
wonderful.
में माउंटेन मैन तो हमारे यहाँ था ना, दशरथ मांझी. हमारे यहाँ
Yes.
कितने सारे काम हो रहे हैं. So
Correct.
I always feel that if your mind can conceive it, if your heart can believe it, you can achieve it.
Well said. Very well said, sir. कि आपने जैसे बताया खुद से प्यार करना बहुत जरूरी है, and this is the inspiration that this book offers. And I request all our listeners and our viewers here to make sure that you definitely go through this thrilling read. And as we conclude, I just would like to think of the takeaways जो मैंने इससे सीखा है कि this is a perspective that not only entertains but it also enlightens. जैसे आपने बताया था, entertainment and inspiration makes us fall in love with ourselves, and it offers lessons in perseverance, in cultural harmony, and in hope. And Pankaj sir, your narrative craftsmanship has definitely captivated our minds and hearts. And इसके
Thank
beyond
you.
आपका जो thought process रहा है, वो आज सुन के मुझे समझ में आ रहा है कि आपने complexities of human emotions and societies को कितनी आसानी से आपने उसको pen down किया है. It's like a गुत्थी जो आपने एक तरीके से solve करी है for our readers to read. And I'd like to invite each of you readers, our esteemed audience, to continue this journey beyond today's session. Whether you are an aspiring writer, a dedicated reader, or simply someone who values the power of storytelling, let's carry forward the spirit of learning and exploration that we ignited here today. Before we part ways, I encourage you all to stay connected. Share your reflections and insights and favorite moments from today on social media using our event hashtag Bookathon, CFE, and Lysoni. And definitely do read One String Attached by Pankaj Dubey sir. Let us amplify the impact of Pankaj sir's words and continue the dialogue on literature, resilience, and cultural understanding. Finally, on behalf of Nahar Jito Bookathon and the Raisoni Foundation, thank you once again, Pankaj sir, for your illuminating presence and profound contributions. आपकी कहानियों ने हमारे imaginations को spark नहीं किया है, but it has also illuminated paths of discovery. And we look forward to welcoming you all to the future sessions. We are continuing to celebrate the transformative magic of books and ideas. Atma Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.